Welcome to the One for the Road podcast. My name is Mr. K. Alongside me, as always, is C Squared. Tonight's topic, invasion of the young YouTubers. I thought I'd sit down with C Squared and discuss the latest phenomenon in the movie business, young, hot film directors who got their start on YouTube. YouTube, I can say it. All three directors debuted with major motion pictures in 2026, and all three have grossed at least $50 million at the box office. All three started on YouTube.
Now,
Uh,
now C squared is going to have to tell a story about making a film back in the day, and this dates C squared. Back in the day, right before he died. Oh shucks, I'm trying. Who was the director that did Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley
Gary
and
Marshall.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Mr. Marshall had a show for like 2 years where you actually sent in videos. This is maybe pre-YouTube. Sent in videos that you made, and then they also had directors that they paid to produce short films on there. And C squared got an honorable mention for
Oh,
one of
wow.
the things by I don't want to say Penny Marshall. I forget that's her his daughter or
Right.
whatever. I'm trying to think. But so anyway, we did get an honorable mention
Nice.
on a green screen film that we made back in the
Oh,
day, man.
cool. That's really
Anyway,
cool.
moving on to real
Now
directors.
let's fast forward to 2026. The first director I have is Markiplier, also known as Mark Fishback. You'll like this, C squared. Fishback, born in Hawaii, but spent a lot of his formative years in Cincinnati, graduated from Milford High School, and attended UC.
We'll
Uh,
forgive him anyway.
yes, well, he dropped out his senior year, and this is when Mark blew up. Left his senior year, registered a channel on YouTube where he would film himself playing video games with humorous remarks. His channel reached 94,000 subscribers within a year. Fast forward 3 years to 2015, he ranked sixth amongst the 20 most influential celebrities for teenagers in the United States and guest starred on Jimmy Kimmel Live. 2016, he signed
We
with the
won't forgive
talent.
him for that.
Yeah, well, it gets better. Uh, he signed with the talent agency William Morris Endeavor. You signed up with them, didn't you, in your early 20s?
No, I
William
refuse the
Morris.
goat, and I refused the goat in the coffin to actually get into the Hollywood circle, dude. So they bailed. They told me to exit out the back door.
Oh, it's horrible. Uh, Markiplier's first project with WME, William Morris, was a tour with other YouTubers across America and Europe. 2017, he landed a gig voice acting on Cartoon Network in the series Villainous. In that same year, he starred and co produced the podcast The Edge of Sleep. Quite good. Been listening to it. In April of 2023, it was announced that he had begun production of a film adaptation of the 2022 indie horror game Iron Lung. The movie Iron Lung premiered in January 2026, which Markiplier wrote, directed, edited, and stars in. The film was made on a budget of $3 million and grossed over $51 million. Story follows a convict played by Markiplier who is forced to plot a submarine across an ocean of blood on a desolate moon after an apocalyptic event known as the Quiet Rapture, which causes all the stars, habitable planets, and their human inhabitants to vanish without warning. It's a good movie. One of the very few I thought based on a video game that's good. Lots of the movies prior to this based on video games were not successful at all, and some lost a lot of money. I was pretty impressed with his acting in his first starring dramatic role. He's the oldest of the three at 36, but it was a pretty impressive debut and quite the profit margin of 48 million.
That's nothing. That's not a chump change.
Right, right, right. So it's pretty cool. You had a lot of formative years in Cincinnati. Next on the list I have is Curry Barker. Barker, the pride of Alabama, left home at 18 to study at the New York Film Academy campus in LA. During his first week, he met fellow student Cooper Tomlinson, and the two quickly began making YouTube videos while they were attending classes. They formed a sketch comedy duo called That's a Bad Idea and began posting comedy sketches and short films on YouTube, which are quite good. Saw quite a few of them after the movie we saw, which I'll get to. Barker scored occasional TV acting roles in 2023. 2023, wrote and directed the short film The Chair and uploaded to YouTube, where it was watched more than 10 million times. Barker created the found footage horror film Milk and Cereal for $800. Couldn't find a director, uploaded it to YouTube. It became a sensation. In that movie, he directed, wrote, produced, edited, and starred, along with his buddy there, Tomlinson. He couldn't get a major studio released it, so it released on YouTube. The film was a hit. I've seen it. It's very good. It's amazing that it was made for $800 because there's some really good, I'd say, scenes of blood. Let's put it that way. One critic called it the sixth best horror picture of the year, and it wasn't released to a theater. The studios were impressed and signed Barker to make Obsession. They gave him a budget of 750 grand. Debuted at the Toronto Film Festival last year. It was released in America last month. And Curry directed, wrote, and edited the picture. It has now grossed over $224 million off of a less than $1 million budget.
That's a. You know what else had less than $1 million budget? I bet you can't guess. An indie film.
Oh, is it one you were in?
It might be.
I
The
forget what it was called.
Jimmy and Judy go
I
out
know
to
it's
see it.
J and J.
Yeah, best film of like 2004 or some deal.
Yes, yes. You got your
In my
SAG
opinion
card.
only.
You got your SAG card through that movie, so you should be
Yeah, right.
proud. Paying the union dues and everything.
Right. I'm waiting for my 57-cent check.
Right,
Yeah.
the royalties should have been pouring in by now. Obsession's really good. I think it's the best movie of the year. The film follows Bear, a music store employee who buys a toy that grants him his wish for his friend Nikki to fall in love with him. This results in horrifying consequences, and that's putting it mildly. So it's a tremendous movie. Curry Bark,
That's not a very unique plot. It always does.
right, right.
End up in horrifying consequences.
Yes. I and my son knew this. I found it quite similar to a real old Twilight Zone episode. It's called The Chaser, and it's about a guy who's madly in love with this woman and do anything to get her. While this guy gives him, here's a magic potion, slip it in her drink, she'll fall in love with you. And she does, and it's madly in love, and they get married. And after a year of marriage, he's like, how do I reverse this? So a little similar. There's no real reversal in Obsession, though.
Yeah.
So good movie. Curry Barker is a whopping 27 years old. He's been signed on to do the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, his favorite movie and the movie that inspired him to do horror movies.
Yeah. Okay.
Last on the list and the youngest is Kane Parsons. He is 20. Kane, now you'll love this guy. He is quite the nerd and into computers. which I admire too, being a nerd myself. Kane began publishing the viral web series Backrooms to YouTube when he was 16. But prior to that, as early as age 12, he taught himself how to create visual effects using Adobe After Effects. At 14, he started using Blender and created a video based on web series.
Oh,
And
you are right, because Blender is a personal favorite. I've had that since
oh,
the
cool.
first version came out, man.
Yeah, he loves Blender and is addicted to it. And of course, the beauty of Blender is it's open source.
Well, Mr. K should learn to use Blender because here's your tech tip on movie making, folks, and Mr. K is going to love this. What is the scripting language for the command line back end of Blender, Mr. K?
For Blender, I'm guessing Python.
You ding, you win, and
Cool. I love Python. It doesn't surprise
there
me.
you are, man.
I mean, one knock against Python, especially in the early days, was speed. But I mean, put a NVIDIA chip in your computer, who cares?
You'll be smoking.
Parsons is also an accomplished musician who has written and released music on
And
SoundCloud. The Backrooms web series, which premiered in 2022, became immensely popular and caught the eye of the movie studio A24, who desired to make a motion picture based on the series. As of last month, the Backrooms found footage video on YouTube had 78 million views. Backrooms, the film, was announced in 2023 and completed filming in the summer of 2025. It was released on May 29th, 2026. The film is directed by Kane, and Kane co-wrote the music for the movie, and it's
yeah,
pretty good.
nice. Now here I was
Uh,
gonna say he was just shy of actually getting a check, which was 79 million views.
right, exactly. uh, Budget for Backrooms was $10 million. Unlike Obsession and Iron Lung, this had a well-known cast. The star of it was the star of 12 Years a Slave. So there, I mean, there's some pretty famous people in this. So I think some of that 10 million went to acting salaries. Uh, it's still a low budget. It has grossed currently over $212 million. So pretty good return of $202 million profit so far. It's still in the theaters. It is the highest grossing movie ever for the A24. The film's about Clark, a furniture store owner, and Mary, his therapist, discover a dimension of seemingly endless, liminal, dolly influenced spaces accessed through the basement of the store. Me and my son saw it. It is fantastic. I liked Obsession better. All three films are really good films. And I'm starting to wonder if this is the dawn of a new era of young filmmakers. Will these guys, career take off? I know Barker signed up for a three-picture deal. He has two more coming out. I don't know about Kane and Markiplier, though.
Well, I do like the fact that it is not a horror film and that he uses people like Dolly
Right,
or could use some cool Picasso stuff. Could even cut in the French national treasure of the last known black and white of Picasso painting.
right,
My
right,
man.
right. But yeah, it's a very good movie. I highly recommend it. And I started thinking of this isn't. I mean, this has happened before. We'll go back to the 1970s. There was a pack of some at the time little known directors called the Movie Brats: George Lucas, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Brian De Palma, and Steven Spielberg. And they all hung out together and helped each other on their first early films. Here's a quick thing I found out. the studio wanted De Palma to make Taxi Driver, and it's like, screw that, I'm giving that to Martin Scorsese, my friend. So they really helped each other out.
Nice.
And then you'll love this. In the 80s, Richard Linklater made Slacker on a credit card. Kevin Smith saw it, loved the movie, was like, oh my God, you can make films with credit cards? I'll do one. He made Clerks.
And you're like, stellar.
So, so, and arguably, I mean, these are not really coming out of major movie studios. These are arguably independent films. I mean, A24 is a small studio, and the studio that made Obsession and Iron Lung are even smaller.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff. That is great that the market is breaking that way and that those folks are now making tons and tons of money. So it's only a matter of time before a major Hollywood studio buys them and destroys everything that they
Right,
ever
right,
did.
right. And I doubt a major motion picture are going to see this and try and duplicate it and will fail horribly. So
Right. That's exactly.
that's another outcome, and we've seen that before. So quite interesting, and like I mean, I haven't been to many movies, and to your last point, C squared. I mean, the movies that the major studios are churning out do nothing to captivate my interest. I mean, at least these are original stories that no one, I mean, they're not based on books. No one's
Yep.
seen these before. They're not based on anything. Now, granted, Iron Lung's based on a video game, but I mean, you, I didn't know about the Iron Lung video game, and maybe Gen Z is really up on this, but it's still a great movie if you don't know anything about the video game.
Yep.
So there's hope out there, and I like that most of these have kind of horror elements, and the Iron Lung movies really good sci-fi. So
Yeah, I like sci-fi. I
yeah, you'd
do.
like Iron Lung because he's going through the submarine on the desolate moon, and it's all
Yeah, that's
blood.
I
And
do like apocalyptic type stuff too.
yeah, yeah.
Good stuff.
And you'd like Backrooms, like I said, you'd like it when they go through the portal, and it's just it's like a David Lynch like nightmare. And I
Interesting.
remember watching parts of it. There's this one scene I was like, man, David Lynch is up in heaven smiling watching this movie because there are definitely some David Lynch elements. So, all right, that wraps it up. You can reach us via email at one for the road podcast at gmail.com. We have a website, it's onefortheroad.net. Best way to remember this is 14 the road. When you're spelling that out, we do not use ONE. We are on massive amounts of audio platforms, RSS, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, the big one, and Zeno FM. We're also on Podbean. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. For C squared, I'm Mr. K. Have a good week.
Thanks, folks.